Yo, what is good, everybody? It's your boy Golden Falls, Golden What If, whatever you want to call me. Back at it again with another part of What If Naruto was trained by Master Roshi. And I'm not gonna waste any of your time. We're gonna get right into it, leaving off with what we basically left off last time, right? So basically, Naruto just saw Ebisu, I don't know what I'm talking about, Ebisu get knocked out, like just slapped across the freaking, what's it called, the bathhouse or whatever, and he just, or the spa house, and he's just laying in the water, just out cold. And Naruto just kind of looks at Ebisu and just like, oh my god, like really, man? And he kind of walks over to the old man and just like, yo, that's who was training me. What are you guys doing? They both turn around and it's Master Roshi and this other pervy man. Pervy Roshi, what are you doing? Who is this? Roshi's like, I don't know who it is, but he has a good taste in women. And then Naruto's like, whatever, man. Like, I need you to train me now. You literally just knocked out the guy that was gonna train me. And I have the final for tuning exams in 1 month. Like, can you please train me? And Roshi's basically looking at him like, what are you talking about? And Naruto looks and he goes, he's knocked out in the water right over there. And Roshi's like, oh. And he looks at the other pervy man. He's like, did you do that? And he's like, oh, I didn't think that was gonna knock him out. And then Roshi kind of looks at him. He's like, okay, Naruto, all right, let's do it. We can train. And the other old man looks at them and tells Roshi like that he would love to train this young man with him if he's a student of Roshi's, and like he must have like great power. And Roshi is just like, oh sure, agreeing, because like he knows like this old other pervy man has like great taste in women. And the old man basically introduces himself. He's like, I am Jiraiya, the Toad Sage, one of the legendary. And Naruto like cuts him off and he's like, okay, pervy sage, let's just go train. And Roshi just begins to laugh like, I called you pervy sage. And then Jiraiya is basically like, shut up, pervy Roshi. And Roshi and Jiraiya kind of look at each other like kind of trying to get mad, but then they just start both like cracking up, laughing. And then they're basically like, okay, all right, let's go train, kid. So they end up going to the mountains, and Naruto begins to train with both Master Roshi and Jiraiya to initially work on chakra control. But Jiraiya realizes like, this kid has really good chakra control. Like, I'm actually really surprised like how well he's able to control his chakra. And he was like, it must have something to do with like the training he's done beforehand. And Jiraiya then tells him like, listen, kid, this is what I want to do. I want you to focus on pushing out that extra chakra that you have within you. And then Naruto kind of looks at him and was like, you talking about that red chakra that I have? And he's like, yeah, the red chakra. He's like, come here, kid, take off your shirt. Naruto looks at him like all weird, like, bro, are you good? What are you talking about? And then Jiraiya's like, just trust me, dude. So Jiraiya then like loosens the seal on his stomach a bit, and Naruto can like kind of feel like more control in a way. But he can't really explain it, like. But he's like, listen, kid, I just need you to focus and draw out that extra chakra that you have in your reserves. And Naruto just puts his hands together and just begins to focus, and he begins to charge up, and his chakra begins to change to a light red, to a dark red color, until it surrounds him in this red aura. He's like, whoa, kid, you did that easier than I thought. And Naruto kind of looks at him and goes, well, to be honest, like, I felt this power before, so I just dug into the times that I was in distress and just channeled it out of my body. And Roshi kind of like hearing that looks over and like thinks, this kid's a lot like you, huh? And obviously he's talking about one of his other students. And at the same time though, he's like but then Naruto is explaining at the same time he's still keeping like a state of peace in mind and like mental control. And Jiraiya's like, where the heck did you learn? And Jiraiya slowly turns, seeing Roshi like flipping through the pages of like this dirty magazine. He's like, you learned that from him, kid? He's like, yeah, why? He's like, this is amazing, kid. Well, no doubt you're ready for this then. Watch me. Jiraiya then throws up the hand signs due to the summoning technique, and he summons like a semi big toad, and Naruto like completely in awe, just like, oh my god, like please teach me that. I want to know that right now. And he basically tells Naruto like, you have to sign this contract in blood, and Naruto's like, I'll do it right now, I don't care. And he basically pulls out the scroll, he signs his name, and Naruto begins to charge up into his nine-tail state, and he pulls like the signs for the summoning jutsu and goes, summoning jutsu, and slams his hand on the ground, and this huge toad shows up, because obviously Naruto can't necessarily control how much chakra he's outputting, in terms of like, he doesn't know how much chakra to output or control, how to control like the summonings and who's coming out. So he just like, all his power basically just slams his hand on the ground, and he summons Gamapunta, and this huge toad just appears, and he's like, Jiraiya, why have you summoned me? And he's like, and Jiraiya kind of looks up and looks at him and goes, yeah, I didn't. Naruto did. And Naruto's like, yeah, I did. He's like, what, a puny guy like you? As if, what are you talking about? He's like, I did. He's like looking at the big toad. He's like, I summoned you. I don't understand the conflict in that. And he's like, okay, prove it. If you can stay on my back without falling, I will believe you. And Naruto's like, wait, that's it? And he's like, what do you mean that's it? Never mind. Nothing. So Naruto just hops on his back and just stays on with ease. Gamapunta like is like trying, spinning, doing everything, and Naruto's not budging. Gamapunta then like just grabs him, and he's like, ha, can't stay on now, kid. And he throws Naruto, but Naruto barely went anywhere. What the? This kid? Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, I can fly. And then Gamapunta kind of looks at it, and it says like, is this kid the... Never mind, I don't know yet. And Jiraiya looking up is like, this kid can freaking fly? Are you kidding me? And Naruto kind of looks at the toad and goes, yeah, I can fly, but I don't have like complete control over it yet. Like, it's hard for me to fight while flying. I don't know if that makes sense. But, yeah. I'm working on it, though. Naruto kind of just shakes his head, and he's like, but I'll be able to do it very soon. Believe it. And, Gamapunta, like, basically is like, okay, kid, I believe you. But, do you need me for anything? And Naruto kind of goes, no, I just was testing out the summoning jutsu. He's like, alright then, I'm gonna go take a nap. And he's like, alright, Mr. Toad, do what you want. I'm gonna go train now. And he kind of just jumps down, and Jiraiya's looking like, thinking like, wow, this really is Minato's son. He's amazing. And now this all happened, and about only halfway through the training time, in terms of like, you know, like the month that Naruto has to keep learning. So he still has like a couple weeks, and Jiraiya then tells him like that he could teach him something pretty strong, but I don't know if you're really up to it. But and Jiraiya, like, he's telling Naruto that, but he knows Naruto is probably gonna be able to get it pretty quickly, just like his father. Or like you know, like be able to do it pretty well, just like his father. And he's like, of course I am, believe it. And he's like, what is it, pervy sage? Okay, well, it is this. And a blue and white sphere channels into his hand, and he's like, this is the Rasengan. He's like, whoa, that's awesome. Like, that looks, the way it's flowing, it's like a whole entity in itself. And he's like, it kind of looks like this. And Naruto just blasts a ki blast at a tree, and he's like, it kind of looks like my ki blast, see? And he's like, what was that? He's like, my ki blast. You learned that from him? And Roshi walks over. Yes, he did, but this Rasengan, I can tell, will be way more powerful than just a ki blast. Naruto agrees, and he's like, well, I need to try to replicate it. And Jiraiya looks at him, he's like, I know it's gonna be harder, like pretty hard to do, so I'm gonna give you a little guiding hand. He's like, what you need to do is put like this rotation in your hand, and basically continue that rotation with fluidity. And he's like, here, let me go get you something. And he goes to grab the water balloon, and Naruto already has like an imperfect Rasengan in his hand. And he's like, kid, what the heck? He's like, I know this isn't quite it. I can tell, but I can feel like I'm almost there. And he's like, kid, it's been like 2 minutes. How? And he's like, well, it's a lot like my ki blast. So what I kind of did was I replicated like I would do with my ki blast, but I was moving the ki blast in my hand to make it kind of look like it. But then this isn't quite my ki blast. I can feel that this is truly like the Rasengan. And he's like, and then after some more training, like obviously imperfect to perfect, it takes a little bit, but he's able to perfect it. And Jiraiya then tells him like, look kid, if I had more time, I have some more things I want to teach you, but at this point in time, maybe we should just wait till you're older. But I did promise your master that I would give him this last week before the finals of the Chunin exams for your training. And Naruto's like, oh, okay, cool. Well, I'll make sure to keep training after, and you better train me later too. And Jiraiya like looks and he's like, definitely will, kid. I definitely will. And now Roshi walks up and he's like, okay, listen closely. I'm going to teach you a technique. I don't personally know this technique. And Naruto kind of cuts him off and he's like, what do you mean you don't know the technique? How are you going to teach me? He's like, kid, listen. He's like, look, I don't personally know this technique, but one of my students by the name of Son Goku does know it. Wait, isn't that a monkey? And then Roshi is like, no, he's a... Wait, I guess he kind of is a monkey. And Roshi kind of laughs for a second. He goes, never mind that. I'm going to try and teach you it. And I feel as if you could definitely learn it pretty well if I just teach you the basics behind it. Then Roshi goes back in like a little flashback to when he talked to Goku, and Goku's like, listen, Roshi. He's like, listen, Roshi. You teach the kid this technique, you tell him to blah, 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 and make sure to blah, 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 blah. Okay, you got it? And then Roshi kind of comes back to reality. He's like, damn, well, I'm sure we can figure it out. He's like, I really shouldn't have drank all that. Alcohol before talking to him about that, huh? Roshi realizing like he knows how to explain it, but like Goku said something very important, and now he like doesn't remember it. So he's like, damn, well, all right, let's figure it out. And then after the last week, the finals of the Chunin exams are about to begin, and the first fight is Naruto Uzumaki versus Gaara. The proctor then steps up and says, ready? Go! And that's where we'll leave it off. What technique did Naruto learn from Roshi? And can Naruto really beat the maniac that is Gaara? We'll find out next time in the next part. I hope you guys enjoyed this part 7 of What If Naruto Was Trained by Master Roshi. I really enjoyed writing it. I felt like I could get a little creative with what was going on. I'm sure a lot of you already knew who the two old men were, but I mean, it was pretty obvious, but I had to leave it hanging a little bit. But if you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe. It means the world to me. Comment below if you have any suggestions for this what if, or maybe in any entirely other what if that you want me to do. And hopefully we can get into it as soon as possible. I hope all y'all enjoying, and I hope you have an amazing day. Later.